Welcome to the Pro Cheerleading Podcast, hosted by Makiba
and Brittany, two former NFL cheerleaders discussing hot topics in the pro cheerleading industry
and revealing the truth behind the palms.
Welcome to Supersonic.
Hey. Okay,
welcome in.
Welcome in. Did anybody catch that? Brittany was talking like a greeter at the Gap.
Welcome in, you guys.
But welcome to our episode. Why are we picking Supersonic? Everybody now has caught on, right? Their songs. We tried to give a little bit more info about what each episode will be about, but Supersonic is... I had to listen to the whole song, and why was I like jamming?
It's a really good song.
Yeah.
You should catch Makiba's little solo at the end of London Bridge. I'm dropping that little goodie for you.
I cannot sing to save my life. I don't even know how I allowed that in the editing process to stay as part of the episode.
I think we were loopy.
Maybe we were.
We stay in like studio, quote unquote, for a long time. Do I have a crazy hair sticking off?
No.
Oh.
Well, I see it now that you mention it, but it
wasn't
looking
down.
Crazy.
Just use a little spit.
But I will not sing Supersonic, but I encourage everybody to go back and play that song because it's like...
It's classic. It's a really good one.
Anyway, I can hear it in my head. I'm like moving my shoulders. Okay. Anyway, Supersonic, we did our NBA episode with Roisha, so we got the gist of like what it's like to be an NBA dancer. But I haven't seen a lot of posts or any posts really about the NBA teams, like who they've selected to go to the All-Star game. Have you?
No, absolutely not. It doesn't seem as blown up as Pro Bowl selection.
For NFL, which is weird.
For NFL is really weird. But yeah, we're going to interview somebody who's been in the NFL and the NBA space.
Yes, she was an NBA All-Star dancer, so we are excited to share that interview with you. She's just had her first season in the NFL with the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm still trying not to say San Diego Chargers, but we're going to hear all about what it's like to go to the All-Star game, and she also traveled to China to support the NBA's efforts to expand the sport over there. So we're pretty pumped.
Yeah.
And we actually kind of met her before and didn't realize that we didn't meet her, but we were in the same... Tell the story. It's a good one.
Right. So Makiba introduced me to Aisha Francis, which we've talked about a few times.
Several years ago. No, I'm just kidding.
A long time ago, actually. Mm-hmm. Like, when was that? 2015 or something? Yeah. But we had to take a class. You got me totally obsessed, and you were like, we were always doing adventures, so you're like, you're coming with me.
Yeah.
So we fly down to Oakland to take her class.
Because she usually teaches out of, like, Los Angeles and New York, and she does this whole heels intensive program. She invented heels and...
Pump class.
Yeah, so she had this pump camp, and I was like, oh my gosh, the closest place she's coming to us is Oakland. Will you please come? You always say yes to my crazy ideas.
It was so fun. We went to the Beast Mode store down there because there wasn't one in Seattle yet. Mm-hmm. And we took her class, and was I being competitive? Maybe. I'm going to have to apologize. But you definitely kind of have to fight for mirror space, and it was crowded. That was a pretty small studio.
Aisha makes you like completely feel yourself. So it's all about like loving and owning your body and being confident and sexy. And so everybody was getting into the zone and just like wanting to connect with the mirror.
Right.
It was like box out.
Yeah. And I'm Ginger Beast, so right, post out. And I remember seeing her because I was like, this girl's way too cute. Like just this cute little girl, and she just killed it. And I was like, who is this girl? So I definitely noticed her. And then it turned out it was Patrisha, who is one of our former teammates, Sunrose's cousin.
Right.
Whoa, that's a mouthful.
Odds?
What are the odds? She was in the same class.
It was crazy.
We didn't find out until way later, too. But
now we're about to be best friends. I'm just kidding. But we're going to interview her very shortly, so... Ooh, this is her. Hey. Bye, guys. See you on the other side.
Hi, Patricia.
Hi, Patricia. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you guys?
We're good. So we wanted to ask you right off the bat, do you remember us from Aisha Francis?
Yes, I do. Even though years ago, like 2 or 3 maybe?
Yeah, it was a little bit ago.
And it was at a time when it was kind of getting popular, but nowhere as popular as it is now. Are you still taking classes, like heels classes?
Yeah. I haven't taken Aisha in a while, but I do take heels classes when I can, and when it's like a good teacher that I feel that I can invest my time in.
Right. Because
there's so many different types of heels classes, which is so great.
And they're so crowded. Like the ones that I follow online, it's like I can't even imagine being in that dance class and being able to see, because there's just like a gajillion people in there.
Yeah, more intimidating than an audition.
Exactly. I mean, Aisha Francis, we were saying like it was kind of getting competitive because everybody was like feeling themselves, and wanting to like flirt with the camera. I mean, the mirror. I know I was in my own zone, but like it definitely was like, move out of my way. I can't see myself.
Right. I actually just took Isabel Capitule's hip hop class. That was packed.
Oh wow!
So packed. But it was worth it. But it was very packed.
Now, so you've also taught classes too, right?
Yeah. When I was living at home, I was starting to do like master classes for pro dancers, and then I'm actually teaching this weekend for another master class for a team aware. Randomly teach. It's not consistent, unfortunately.
No, but that's like the life of a dancer, right? I mean, it's piecing it all together. You've had quite a busy year. We cannot wait to get just all up into it. So we're probably going to jump all over the place, but...
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, first of all, where's home for you, and like, what's your dance background?
So I'm from the Bay Area. I have been a competitive dancer my entire life. You know the whole story of growing up in a studio, competing nationally and regionally in hip-hop, lyrical, tap, like the whole zhuzh. And then once I turned 18, I auditioned for the Warriors dance team. I made it on my first try, which was
nice.
So incredible.
Wow.
And I was with them for 5 seasons. I was captain for 3 of those seasons, and then I went to the All-Star weekend my last season in 2016.
So cool.
Now I got signed with MSA Agency back in November 2017, I believe. Yeah, and just been trying to get into the commercial industry out here. And then I just finished my first season with Chargers this past year.
So cool. Congratulations.
I know that on all of the above. Goodness gracious.
Thank you.
So yeah, we were actually just talking about this too. Pro Bowl for the NFL is like a huge deal, and they make the announcement of the girls like a super big celebration and everything. And we know it's like All-Star is coming up.
All-Star Weekend's this weekend, actually.
Yeah, but we haven't heard much. So is there not really that much emphasis on the announcement of the selected All-Star cheerleaders?
Yeah, so unfortunately with the NBA, they don't make it. That's not really a thing.
Okay.
Why? I don't get it.
I know. It was such a great experience for me. Like, yes, I was definitely tired and dying by the end of the week, but I made lifelong friends, got to experience a different country and meet new people. But I just think the NBA they never have it every year. I think the last time they had it was back in 2017.
I know I've looked and just noticed, like, when I watch All-Star Weekend, that, the day of the game, they tend to have the dancers during, like, the pregame announcements and stuff like that. But I didn't realize that they didn't consistently do the All-Star cheerleaders.
Yeah, so last year, All-Star Weekend was here in LA, and they just ended up using the Clipper girls and the Laker girls. And then this year, I think they're just using those dancers from that area.
That's crazy. Well, that's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it's definitely disappointing, especially for my teammates that have like been on the team for so long. And I'm sure like a majority of the girls would want to do that, and it just sucks that it's not a consistent thing every year. Now
I'm just like flustered because it just seems like such a great way to celebrate not just the guys that are selected for the All-Star teams, but just something for the women as well. So it's kind of like, why would they shortcut it and make it just be about the host town's cheerleaders or dancers? Well, so then we have to hear about, since you did at least go when they were doing it, right?
But it was like Pro Bowl where like a girl from each team was selected and like combined? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. For NBA, which I'm sure you guys know, we don't have lines. We just have 2 or 3 captains per year. It's kind of changed ever since I've been on it. But yeah, the process is our teammates vote us in. They vote three dancers in, and then the NBA gets the final pick out of the 3.
Oh wow!
Oh,
yeah. So it's
wait,
cool.
not even your team, the NBA as a whole?
No, like my teammates.
Okay. I thought you meant like so your director would pick out of those 3 that the team selects.
Told us that like she sends the 3, and then the NBA picks.
Oh, it literally
wow,
is the
that's
NBA
like
picking.
That'd be a super cool honor. I think, don't you,
Yeah.
Makiba? You're making a weird face.
I'm making a face because I'm just like that they wouldn't leave it to the director's discretion to select the best representative from their squad. Who
What
in
you
the
look
NBA,
like, you know?
it's just kind of, we're going to put together our own squad based on the
Yeah,
top. That's crazy to me.
That's just what I was told. That
Oh, gotcha.
Selected by the NBA. And maybe it could be NBA meaning in our offices, like the Warriors organization as a whole, but I'm not 100% on that.
But to your point, Brittany, it is like even more of an honor because it's kind of like people who don't even know you're not your teammates or not your director, but just as a whole, they're looking at whatever package they're looking at and still deciding that you're the best representative. So, dang, Patricia.
Super cool.
I'm like, no, it's really not that big of a deal.
But we're hyping it because it does seem like the ultimate honor. So, like, do they make a big deal with announcing? Like, how did you find out that you were selected?
I was lucky enough that my coach definitely spoiled me, and she announced it after we did one of our routines. So I almost kind of got the Pro Bowl experience of getting announced.
Nice.
But I know my former teammate, Casey, she got announced a different way. So I think she kind of switches it up every year that they've had it.
Got you.
Cool.
Yeah.
And do you find out, like, pretty close leading up to it, and then it's just kind of a whirlwind?
Yeah, I basically found out probably maybe like 2.5 weeks before. And what's so funny is that I had a trip to Mexico with my boyfriend at the time, and I ended up having to like change my flight from Mexico, fly back home the day that I left for Toronto. My dad picked me up super late at night. We like slept in a plaza by the SF airport, and he like brought my All-Star bag with him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I flew from Toronto straight after. But that was my fault because I just didn't know about All-Star because it's just so up in the air, you know. So I planned the trip.
Well, I mean,
but it was great. It was definitely a memorable traveling day for me.
I bet. So, I mean, with the NFL, they kind of give you like a DVD of all the dances that you'll be doing. Was it something similar, or did you like learn all the choreography on the spot, or how did they coordinate all the dancers that are selected?
Yeah, you're correct. So they sent us videos to learn before landing in Toronto, just so that we can have a gist of like what it is. And then, honestly, right when we landed, we went straight to rehearsal and started cleaning one of the routines.
Dang.
Yeah. So it went by very quickly.
And just a lot of hard work. So, I mean, it seems so glamorous, but I mean, I think we kind of got a little bit of a glimpse when we were in Orlando. There's a lot of hard work behind the scenes to be ready. How many days in advance did you get there before the big game?
I believe maybe like 2 or 3 days before. It's so funny because I feel bad in a way that I don't remember it fully. Like I remember my week, but honestly it felt like one big long day because it was like we sleep and then we have to be morning for, to be full ready, hair and makeup.
We got you. We speak the same language of full glam.
Yeah, ready at like in the lobby by 6:30 a.m. So
so
I'm like, I'm honestly even trying to remember when. I just know we had rehearsals and then we had a lot of promos. They were nice enough to let us be involved with a lot of the game stuff, which was really cool.
That is cool.
So were the promos more like, pictures with fans, or were they performances at the promos too?
They were more in-game performances, and we got to participate and do the intros for the celebrity game.
Which I'm sure was way better than the NFL's Pro Bowl celebrity game, just side note.
Really?
But oh my god, it was so poorly organized.
It was just like Disney
painful.
Kids, and like the only celebrity there in my eyes was Snoop Dogg. He was one of the coaches.
It was just kind of a shameless plug for all things Disney, and I was like, where are the real celebrities? But anyway, All-Star Celebrity Game is always hilarious, and
Chris Brown's always there, right?
I feel like him and Justin Bieber. Do you remember some of the celebrities that were there your year?
Drake, I think came. Kevin Hart was there, I believe. Yeah, Kevin Hart. Yeah, he was hilarious.
Because he's like 5'2". He's so small.
Yeah. Those are like the pretty big names. And just even being around layers, I'm like, whoa, this is intense.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So much star power, like blocked into one weekend. That's why I guess I've always had this glamorous idea of the NBA All-Star dancers, because the whole scene, like the way that they put together the show for it, it's like dark and it's like a rock concert. Not rock, probably like a hip-hop concert, frankly, but they have so many performances by artists and stuff too. Did you guys get incorporated into that stuff too? Or
yeah, I got to perform with, all right, what is their name? Hold on, now I have to look it up. They sang the Shut Up and Dance With Me.
We should know, because that's one of our episode names, but we totally know the song.
Wow, that's going to bother me.
No, hold please.
Oh, yeah.
Walk the Moon.
Weird.
Walk the Moon. I'm like, something with a moon.
They're a one-hit wonder.
I was about to say, what other songs have they done? I've never even heard of that. Interesting.
So, you just finished up your first year in the NFL. That's super exciting, too.
Yeah, and we had a really great season.
You did. I was really pulling for you guys. I just felt like you guys were never getting enough credit for how well you guys were doing. And
welcome to the Seahawks, you know?
Like, I mean, hey, I root for you guys too, just because the sun rose. So
yeah, for sure. That's awesome. So how did you have a vote for who you guys sent to Pro Bowl, or because each team seems to do that differently too?
Yeah, my director or my coach, Lisa, she basically gave us. I don't want to say a worksheet, but it was like a piece of paper that was like 2 pages long, and it kind of asked, what are the qualities that a Pro Bowl cheerleader should have. So it was something on the lines of who, connects with our community and gives to our community. And then there was like 3 lines that we got to put our teammates' name on them.
Okay.
Yeah, so after we did that, we filled out the worksheet, and then 3 of them were selected, and then they got announced at our second to last home game, I believe.
It's Jada, right? Is that her name?
That's what I was trying to look up.
She's so deserving. I mean, all of the
so
girls
sweet.
were just an amazing representation of our team.
Because it's like maybe twice as big as an NBA team. I don't know how big the Warriors squad was, but how would you describe like the difference in bonding with an NFL team of 30 some odd women and a much tighter knit group on like NBA? Did you notice a difference?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think, so my team only has 28 girls.
Oh, so you're smaller.
It is pretty small, yeah. So there's only 7 of us in a line. So I feel like I would definitely have a different, and even more different experience if it was like 40 plus. But even then, you have to just put in a little more effort to make sure that you talk to everybody and connect with them personally, because, I mean, I'm sure you guys know you got to spend a lot of time with your line, And then I became really close with the people that I set up my locker next to.
In the locker room?
Same.
Yeah, your locker mates are definitely, you spend a lot of time together and just bonding for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely, sometimes when I first started, I was like, I gotta remember all these names because I don't want to blank, and I want to make sure that I know everyone's name, but it's definitely a lot harder when you have to know 27.
So true. Yeah. I'm big on nicknames, so like that was my way of kind of remembering everybody at orientation. I'm like, okay, I don't know, I can't think of any at the top of my head, but it helps to kind of like just to keep them straight for a while, especially when you're doing promos together and you're like, who is this? Yeah.
So you think you're going to audition for the NFL again or go back to NBA? Do you have a preference?
I loved, and not to seem like I'm lying, but I really loved both of my experiences on both of my teams. I don't know if I'm going to go back yet. I feel like I got everything that I wanted to out of doing Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Like a one-hit wonder for me. I feel like I met my teammates were amazing. My experience was great. I got to experience we didn't get to go to the playoffs, but physically, but at least the team went.
That's right.
And we got to travel to London, which was such an amazing experience.
Oh my God. Okay, you can't pause there.
Yeah, you need to tell us all about London.
We just did an episode about cheerleading in London just because like NFL UK, and there were 2 different groups that we came across that do a lot of appearances and performances as cheerleaders in London, which is relatively new. So we want to hear all things London.
Yeah, did they send just a select group?
No, well, so 8 of my teammates went early. So they went for basically from like Monday till when we left, and then I got to go. We landed in London like Friday, and we left Monday.
Oh wow, short trip.
Short. Damn it.
Yeah, but all of us got to go eventually, but 8 of them went early.
That's super cool.
So did you get time to sightsee and stuff, or what did you guys do while you were? Was it another whirlwind trip where it's like all one day because you're just all over the place?
When it ended, we ran off, like put our stuff down and just went running in the streets. And then the next day we had rehearsals and promos, and then Sunday was the game. And we went out to dinner after with the whole team. And then Monday, I woke up at 5 a.m. to go explore by like 6.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
That's cool.
And it was at 3, so we had to be back to the hotel by like 12, 1-ish.
That sounds like something I would have done. I mean, you only live once. You just kind of like, and London's it's a huge city. I think I ended up doing like one of those red cheesy buses just to be able to see as much as possible because it was like so spread out. Oh my gosh. So what was it like cheering in that stadium?
It was pretty wild just because I thought it would be, so at StubHub, it's hard to hear. And I mean, you guys know, like on the sidelines, you can barely hear your teammates yelling at you to like do whatever sideline to do.
Mm-hmm.
But because I think it was so big and we were really far from the fans, like there was a good amount of space from where we were standing to where the fans are sitting. I feel like I could literally hear my teammate at the end. So it was pretty crazy because I think we were anticipating having to like really yell at each other to communicate through our line, but we really didn't have to.
They're proper in London, they're very quiet.
Is it time to yell?
Tennis clap, like.
They're like, snaps for a touchdown.
Right.
So did you get to do like a pregame, or was it more or less like quarter changes, or was it all sidelines? Like, was it kind of like a home field game for you guys?
Yeah, they treated it kind of like a home game. We had a pregame performance. We got to perform, I believe, 3 routines during in-game, and then obviously our sidelines.
That's a lot.
There was no other NFL team there, cheerleaders? Just you guys?
There was the Jaguar.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a couple girls there from their team. They were there for promos. We actually got to see them because we did promos before the game, and we got to like dance where it was like a fan zone. So we got to dance where the fans were, and we met some of the Jacksonville cheerleaders.
Super cool.
Well, that's the thing. It's almost like for certain things, like obviously sightseeing, you can get a lot of memories from taking pictures, but the performances and things like that, it's almost like unless somebody catches you in the shot, it's like, dang it, I don't have any footage.
Yeah, some of my teammates' family actually went to London, so I think like some of them got some footage of us dancing, and then also our photographer for Chargers got us some really cool pics during the game.
Oh, nice.
Really,
sounds like you had a great first season in the NFL,
Yeah, I really did. That's why I always tell like my family, like I got really, really lucky because it happened often, so I'm extremely grateful.
Nice.
Super cool.
Do you guys have heels on your boots, like for the Chargers?
We have little, not as big as your guys's.
They changed to flat boots this year, so it was a huge difference in, I think, choreography of what they can do. But yeah, you remember Sunrose's boots. They're high and awkward and ugly. Kind of, not ugly, but just kind of not the best to dance in.
Right. Well, especially, I'm telling you, nobody knows unless you've experienced it, but NFL games are long. Like,
yeah.
like having to, look pretty, dance gracefully for that long of a quarter. My first game, I was like, wow, this is something else. I was not expecting.
No, it's so true though. I remember like rookie season, just that, and even year to year, it's always that first game that unless you pop like a leave or something, you'll wake up like a train hit you the next day. It's just that total hangover for the first game. You need
like 3 days recovery. It's like a vacation from vacation. You need a vacation from the games.
It's just like you can think you're in shape until you're constantly moving for 3 hours straight. When you did Warriors, were you guys kind of like on the court the whole time, or were you coming out for your performances and going back in the locker room?
So for the first 2 years, I was lucky enough that I got to sit on court. Because remember, that was a thing before in the NBA.
Yes, which I was like loving, and then they made everybody disappear.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so much.
Actually, as much as I missed it, it definitely hurt my hips. Because like we had to sit crisscross applesauce.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
on the hard
and
court.
sometimes we like sit on our knees, but it's just
It doesn't look as good.
And then I had a couple players fall on me.
Right.
It's
because you guys would
dangerous.
sit like below the hoop, right?
Kind
Am
of
I
like,
making that up?
or to the side of like the.
But I've seen some media guys getting taken out pretty bad, so I wouldn't want to be there. Those guys are huge.
Yeah.
Like almost bigger than our football players, you know?
They are kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. But I remember when I danced when I cheered at Georgetown when I was in college, we were also like right there on the court, and that's where I got it bad, where I'm just like, you're just so part of the action because it's all just like right there. And I didn't love getting trampled or anything, but it's just, when they moved us back to like have a signage on the court side, I was pissed because I was like, what are we here for if we're like so far from the action? And, but it did become a little bit safer. But to be in the aisles or the tunnels, and I was just like, this is not right. They're moving us all the way from the action. But I can imagine that being on their knees, sitting crisscross applesauce. Ow, that's not comfortable for any extended period of time.
Right. I definitely loved it, and we're so lucky that we got to experience it. But yeah, for NBA, we would go out for intros and then go back into the locker room, change into our uniform for whatever routine, and then go back out, do the dance, and then go back in the locker room. So we had a lot of downtime compared to
NFL. It's like the whole time. But at least you were in the whole game.
And not the bathroom.
No water breaks sometimes. No. And you were in LA though, so at least the weather, you weren't fighting the rain and the wind and hopefully you weren't. Did you have rain games?
No, we never had a rain game. We had like 2 winter games, but it wasn't that cold for me because I'm from the Bay Area, so like I'm okay with 60-degree weather, you know. But some of my SoCal teammates, they're like, it is so cold.
They have no idea.
Jada must have been like, oh my gosh, because it was pouring rain at Pro Bowl.
Oh my goodness. It was cold and wet.
How cute was her hair? Like, she looked so cute.
I know when she braided. Yeah, no, they looked so happy, but I felt so bad for him because the weather was just miserable. She was one of my favorites, actually. Like, she was really, really sweet and just personable and fun performer to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, amazing.
So the choreography, would you say it's pretty different, though? Do you have a preference of, like... I have to say I even have a preference of NBA choreography to NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously I think I would pick NBA dancing just because it's more my style and expressive, I feel like. And with NFL, I do appreciate how clean and how everything is very visual.
Yeah, true. Very true.
But yeah, definitely, NBA dancing is just, it's almost like you're at a competition, you know? It's just...
That's a good way of putting it.
You can do more styles.
Chinese New Year, I believe it was like the Brooklyn Nets or one of the New York teams. It looked like they did like a whole Chinese New Year themed thing. I've seen Bollywood styles. Yeah. They just get to do so many different, a lot more creativity than you can pull off with NFL, I think. We had like one Mamma Mia Hispanic themed dance, and it was just like, but we're doing it in our regular uniform, so it's like, does this translate for you? I hope so. Like, anyway.
We had like a Spanish heritage night too at Charters, and it was so, I was like living my best life because we were dancing to like Despacito.
Fun. Yeah, I felt like the Seahawks could do more of stuff like that, but they just kind of don't or didn't. Maybe it'll change. Can we talk about like NBA China? We've been on this international kick, but love to hear just how you got selected for that and kind of what that experience was like, just everything.
So do you want me to talk about like NBA China when I went with Warriors or when I went by myself?
Both. Dang, I didn't realize it was both.
So yeah, I've had a couple international trips with Warriors. One was them in China, and yeah, the fans there are so crazy. It was the era of like when it was Kobe Bryant and like Lakers were everything.
Oh, got
it.
So
a lot of Kobe fans, and then a lot of Stephen Curry fans, obviously, and they're extremely passionate about basketball, which is so cool. And the culture there is a little bit different with dancing. The girls, how do I explain this? Their energy is amazing, but just the style's different, you know? But they are trying to bring that NBA cheerleading style to China. So that's why I went back in November of 2016 2017. I got to go for a week, and I did a couple master classes there, and I'm actually working with them again this year, but I'm just going to be sending them routines to do for their whatever teams that they want.
Oh, interesting.
They love the way that NFL cheerleaders dance, NBA dancers dance, so...
Yeah, it seemed like they're all over it, and I just was trying to understand, like, it's hard to get from articles, that's why we're, like, so excited to talk to you. Did you get the sense that they did dance classes, but it was just a different style of dance, or just the overall style of the way of movement for the women in China was just different?
Yeah, I think it's all of that, honestly. I don't think they have NBA, quote-unquote, and NFL training out there, so I think they tried to mimic our style based on what they basically can pull from videos and things like that, and yeah, they just kind of put their own twist on it.
I think I talked to Sunrose a little bit about when she joined you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, but I think she was just trying to describe the same thing that you are, where it was just like they clearly had a style and it was just different. So they'd be doing the move that you taught, but just in a completely different way, if that makes any sense.
I feel like it'd be kind of frustrating, to be honest.
To teach in that one?
Yeah, to teach. Like you said, not even bad habits, but they're trying to capture the style and they're like not getting it, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely, I think it's just also a culture thing. I could be completely wrong on this, but I feel like it's frowned upon a little bit, maybe to be like too sexy. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
I've seen them do like sexy moves, like when they showed me some of their routines and things like that. And obviously, women are just sexy in general, so go us.
Yeah, amen.
Right.
Like a different culture there than it is here.
And did you find that there was, even on top of just being sexy, that there was a stigma against cheerleading, or are they embracing it more as that's an acceptable thing?
Joey is the owner of Dazzle Dance Company, and she's the one that hired me to go out there. And she was explaining to me that she's trying basically to build a culture there of cheerleaders. So I think they're still transitioning into doing that.
Got you.
Like, not really a thing yet.
Sounds like the interviews that we just had with women that started their own pro cheerleading or dance groups in London, where it's starting to catch on, but they're still reshaping perceptions and trying to kind of build appreciation / acceptance of this is a real thing and it can actually, has entertainment value and stuff like that. So it really still is in the beginning stages. It makes a lot of sense, I think, from videos at least that I caught of performances. I think there was like a team that was selected to perform at a Lakers game, and huge deal for them. Like, they were interviewed and saying how big of an honor it was, but you could still see that it was like, in development in terms of probably like nailing it, but a great job.
To answer your question earlier, I didn't even water down my stuff, because I was like, if they want like NBA dancing, I'm going to just give them what, like, how I interpret that. Mm-hmm. And so I guess to obviously explain how to do it and like the style with it, but obviously there's a language barrier for me to really
to teach.
Yeah, for me, I wish I could speak Chinese. Honestly, I tried. I tried even speak like the counts in Chinese, and then I just got confused, and I was like, never mind.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because I mean, between just the style differences and then language barriers. But I love that you just brought it exactly how needed to be brought. I mean, just
don't
like
sugarcoat it.
Yeah, like this is kind of...
They want to know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at you,
Mrs. Worldwide.
Mrs. Worldwide, literally.
Like, I just want to help and spread as much knowledge as I can to anybody that wants it, Because it's an experience for me to be in this industry, so I just try to help as many people as I can.
That's awesome.
Did you teach pro cheerleading like audition workshops? I think you mentioned that earlier. Do you still do that, or?
No, I haven't done it here, but I used to do it when I lived back at home.
And because it's kind of like that time of year where everybody's like trying to prepare for auditions and taking prep classes. Did you kind of like package not a secret of how you make a team, but how did you approach teaching? Brittany and I go back and forth of like the value in, obviously people just taking class or information from people who've actually been in the industry is a great idea, but we just imagine there are times when people may not be there yet, or trying to help people. And
how do you navigate that?
Exactly.
Maybe, are you just upfront with them being maybe not ready in a certain area?
Yeah, I try to be as honest as I can, just because, I mean, you guys know, like, the entertainment industry isn't for everybody. And unfortunately, it is based sometimes on how you look. And I've always said that. And so I definitely am open when, like, people ask me, like, oh, well, what if I'm not, physically ready. And I'm like, well, then that's okay. Like, you should still go, but you have to go in knowing that maybe it's not your time yet, and that's okay.
Or that you're going to get feedback about your body, and you're going to have to take it and just use that for next year. But you got to see where you're at. That's what I was telling Makiba today, actually, is that I would advise anybody, if they're interested, just to audition to then get feedback.
Or just even like going, I mean, it's super intimidating, or it can be, but when you show up and you see like how everybody else shows up, and then you kind of can get in your own head about it on one hand, but at least sizing up the competition to understand what the expectation is and how you need to show up and be even better, or being able to stand out in a crowd of beautiful people who are in X kind of shape, and just, doing a own self-assessment that's honest to be able to say, this is what I need to work on.
So you're just fighting for a spot. But yeah, I think I always just preach about it being mental, and that everyone's there in the same boat as you, and I also give tips on like, I tell them, I'm like, I leave my teammates. I'm like, don't talk to me. Like, I'm going to go learn the routine, and like, you can come with me or not, but like, I am not talking to anybody. And I just like put on like tunnel vision, and I'm just focused, and I do the routine like as full out as possible, as many times as possible that my body can handle, and in that way, when I have to go perform it, I know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that sometimes people coming in brand new to the program probably think that like veterans are giving them a cold shoulder, but it's honestly like we're fighting for our spot too. Yeah. So we're like in our head and like freaking out just as much as you probably are. Probably even more.
And in the zone where it's like, I got to get this, and yeah, you don't have time to be nice. Not that you don't want to be nice.
Right.
What do you think people struggle with the most when it comes to auditions or preparing for it?
I think a big thing is interview.
Oh.
Obviously, get past the first day, at least for Warriors and Chargers. And then I think people just mentally block themselves. Whether, I don't look as good as her, or I don't know this style, I feel awkward. You know what I mean? I feel like it's always that, because I see girls come to class, and right when they start going in small groups, because I would put them in small groups if we had enough people, and they would just blink. I'm like, why are you blinking? You just did it a million times in a bigger group. You know what I mean? So I think it's really just like a mental block that we put in our brains, that we don't know it when we're in smaller groups.
No, that's so true.
Well, you feel like the spotlight's on you more. I mean, Aisha's class, I'm going to refer to this, when she like, go red, and I went by myself. Okay, I posted that video on Instagram, and I feel like I should take it down because it was awful, but it's so true. When you're put on the spot, you're like, oh my gosh, you get in your head so much more. Mm-hmm. Than when you feel like you're surrounded by people that are going to hide you.
Right.
When you should be trying to shine out.
It's so true. And when you think about auditions, we're like interviewing you and totally talking.
No, you're fine. You go.
No, but I was just thinking, depending, like if people don't necessarily know their research about what the auditions process is like, and then you find yourself staring at a camera and there's just two people dancing and nobody's clapping because that's just not the way the auditions are actually managed, you can definitely be deer in headlights, and that routine can go like completely out of your head for people who've obviously prepared, but just got in their head in that moment.
Everything's such a mental game, is what I've learned over the past year. It's like literally what you put in your head is going to exude out of your body. So if you're like, I don't know this, then you're not going to know it.
Hey, I love that. I'm all about putting your mind in a great mental state and staying positive. Mm-hmm. You can kind of achieve a lot with just that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially going for something as coveted as like, it's just so competitive. Like you can't be you're competing against yourself because you have like the wrong mindset. You just got to put your best foot forward. It's great hearing your perspective. I mean, we're going to have an audition prep episode coming up soon, but since you've taught classes, it's just great to hear like your approach to teaching, and even when people go to those workshops, they can be intimidating in and of themselves, but you're there to learn, and you should just try your hardest and to get over yourself in those prep classes.
Yeah, if that's your goal and like dance makes you feel happy and you want to be on that team, like it'll happen when it's supposed to happen, you know?
Dang, you should just start giving speeches and stuff.
I know, right?
No, but that's like the perfect pep talk. So you said you were signed with an agency. Like, are you doing auditions for like music videos and stuff, or performances at award shows? Totally living vicariously through you right now.
It's been all of that, to be honest. The audition season season, I feel like in LA has definitely been slow just because there's a lot of direct bookings or, choreographers will work with who they already know, which is great for those people that keep getting callbacks. But yeah, I mean, my goal here, I think I would love to go on tour or do an award show. I've worked with Lorianne Gibson, which is like a huge need just because I
hell yeah. Okay, that is so cool to me. I mean, I'm trying to go to the Danity Kane concert, and I'm just thinking of all the people that she's worked with back in the day with, like, making the band and stuff. Is she, like, hella intimidating?
She is. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm very timid already in general when I meet people. Like, once you get to know me, I'm, outgoing and I can hold a conversation. But with her, I was like, I didn't even want to talk. She wasn't mean or anything like that, but just...
She's just fierce.
Freaking Lorianne Gibson,
So Brittany's like, who the hell is that? Seriously, you don't know?
I don't know names. So
did you watch Making the Band?
No, I didn't watch that.
Oh man.
Okay.
So she's like,
they'll school me off air.
Well, maybe the listeners don't know either. Yeah. I mean, how would you describe Lorianne?
I mean, she's an award-winning choreographer. I basically knew about her because of Making the Band and because she was in Honey with Jessica Alba.
Oh, that's right. She was in that movie. I didn't like that movie because Jessica Alba was with my man, Mekhi Phifer, so I really
hated on her.
I hated the whole movie just because, yeah. But anyway, she was in that. And she's essentially like Puffy's or P. Diddy or Daddy or whatever the hell he's going by these days. She was kind of like his right-hand woman.
For Making the Band and the choreography aspect?
Yeah, choreography as well as like artist coaching and stuff. Like she made these people find themselves because she kind of broke them down to like zero and then built them back up.
Whoa.
Yeah, she's one of those like...
Intense.
But it's a very real... Her approach just stripped you of all the bullshit. And it's like you dance or somebody would do a dance or something. She's like, I don't believe you. Like, make me feel it or whatever.
Oh, no.
Yeah, just totally
So what did you do with her, Patricia?
I'm scared for you.
I got to work on the TV show The Four.
Oh, okay.
So I just did one episode, and then I worked with her on Justine Sky's music video. Just even how she works, I was like amazed at how she is. Yeah, I got to work with her on just two things, which was great. I was so thankful.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So going on tour or doing something like that would be kind of like...
the ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be really cool for me.
Ideal world, what artist would you want to tour with?
Oh.
Let's just put it out in the universe right now.
Shoot. I honestly haven't even thought. I mean, obviously Beyonce, like, let's be real.
Yeah.
But, yeah, either, like, Beyonce. Justin Bieber's tour is super cool because he actually has dancers, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because some of the artists just don't even really put that much emphasis into incorporating dancers into their huge stage shows. But, like, I would say Beyonce or Rihanna or something just because I love their music so much.
I wouldn't even be picky, man. Anybody and everybody, even if it's, like, a small artist, it would just be so cool to tour.
No, that's what I'm like, honestly, I don't even think about it because I think anybody, I'd be like, I'll go.
Right.
But I totally hear you. Just doing anything would be huge and fun.
Yeah.
And just, oh my goodness. Well, we're going to be putting that juju out into the universe for you.
I need it all.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to interview you again about what it's like to tour for major artists like Beyonce.
That would be so dope. I mean, I hear they do a lot of hard work too, obviously, where they, you may not have as much time to see the places that you visit, but it's the experience of it. My goodness.
So how many auditions would you say you've done?
Oh, man. A lot.
Really? I feel like that would be a good locker talk is like audition horror stories or something.
Oh, I mean, I'll tell you my first one. It was for Justin Bieber's Purpose Tour.
Oh, cool.
And it was a big audition after getting signed with my agency.
Wow.
And there was like 300 to 400 people in a small room. A very small, like, we could not, it was probably a fire hazard, like, with how many people were in that.
How do you learn choreography when it's packed like that?
Yeah, no, it was bad. Like, there were some tables, like, in the back, and people were standing on the tables just to see the choreographer. And the mirrors, so, like...
got foggy?
It was, like, a big, black, small room, but, like, not big enough. And the mirrors were, like, the roll-in mirrors, so they weren't even put on the wall yet.
What?
So that takes up, 2 or 3 feet in the front anyways with the mirrors.
Yeah. And then their speaker wasn't working.
Oh, what the heck? I'd be like, is this a joke? Is this from, Craigslist?
No, it was horrible. And then so basically after we learned the choreo with no music, we went into another room, and then everyone, basically because there was just so many people, they were like, okay, the next 10 go. So you would have to basically run in, do the dance, and then they'd be like, okay, thank you, you can stay, thank you, you can go, type of thing.
Holy cow.
Whoa.
That sounds so much more intimidating than any NBA or NFL audition.
Me and Makima did an audition like that.
Oh my God.
But not on the, it wasn't for no Justin Bieber, but maybe we'll talk about that later. But
Jesus Christ.
So did you get to stay for another round?
No, I got cut after the first round.
Dang. That's just because they were so unorganized, let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, I was terrified. It was hip-hop that is not really my forte. So I, again, mentally blocked myself and was like, I can't do this. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what the music sounds like.
Yeah, that's hard. I would not deal very well with that at all.
And, and different choreographers teach differently. They can be like, ooh-ha, da-da-da, or whatever, versus counts. So you're kind of like, what the hell is happening? That probably sounds really bad audio-wise. But you know what I mean? Some don't count.
That's exactly how it sounds like, the ooh-ha.
Yeah.
Sound effects.
Do you choreograph that way, or are you strictly counts?
No, I'm actually music.
Oh.
I do both, but I bounce back off of it. I'm like, okay, this is more counts, and then this one's more of the music and the words. So
yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Me too. Well, because there's so much that you can play with the way that with the lyrics, what they're saying. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
So fun. Well, Brittany hinted toward Locker Talk. We end up closing out each episode with whatever wacky, crazy, funny stories. Brittany has way better stories than I do half the time, or maybe mine are secret and private.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just don't want to tell yours.
But we are dying to hear, between your time with the Warriors, all your travels, the Chargers, any funny, awesome stories you want to share.
I mean, I feel like every time you're in the locker room, everyone is just a mess and a clown,
Yeah, that's true.
But, right? We've definitely done, I think I even have it on my Instagram, we did the Running Man challenge, in the bathroom.
Cool.
Can we link it below? No, I'm just kidding. We won't if you don't want us to.
Was it to Fergie's? Oh, say.
No, it was that. Remember My Boo?
Uh-huh.
We were doing the challenge, that whole thing.
Oh, cute.
That is cute.
That in the bathroom, which was funny. And then I've caught my friends on Snapchat brushing their teeth and do silly videos like that.
See, no, you're so right though. The locker room, if you have time to relax a little bit, you can.
It's totally a shit show. People are half naked. You have these crazy socks out, and people are doing sit-ups and push-ups and running around and playing crazy music. It's a madhouse in there.
Everything's going on in one room.
Have you had any crazy moments on court? What the hell, man? Am I hungry for dinner? But yeah, any I tend to get loopy, but any crazy experiences performing?
Uniform mishaps.
Yeah, one of the funniest and traumatizing experiences for me was when we went out for sidelines on the court, and I called a sideline, and I could not for the life of me remember how it started.
Oh, shoot.
But, yeah, because, so for basketball, we have our sidelines written out. So, say, whatever the name is, Nike times Adidas. We do those two together. And then the next one will be cat and dog, or whatever. So I called, I was like, okay, yeah, it's cat. And then I was just like, I have no idea how this starts. And so I remember my teammates starting to dance, and I could, for the life of me, could not catch on. And mind you, I'm dead center.
Ooh, solo time.
Yeah, and I was just literally screaming ah! Ah! And my teammates were laughing at me. It was so funny, but also it was funnier for me just because I was what is happening with my body? My brain and my body was not connected at that moment. So.
Oh, that is so funny.
Oh my god.
They're totally related to Sunrose because I can just see like, you know, she was ponytail girl and like she like her ponytail's all jumping around like, oh my gosh, ah. It's like, how do you have this much energy, girl?
Oh my god, that totally makes me think. I mean, gosh, I can't even believe I'm going to restate it, but like, you know how you just know it's maybe your time to just like let it go, but I don't know. There was this pregame routine where we start in like the Hawks Nest end zone, and it's this formation, and we're
kicking off the game. It's a big moment.
This is the moment, right? Not the moment for this shit to go down, but I basically straight up turned around and did the whole routine like to the other fucking direction. Excuse my French, but like this is how the thing starts. Like you walk out to your formation. I have my like sassy walk, and I get to my spot, and I'm like, yes, you know what I mean? And then I just fucking bust out.
Pop it.
I did something, and I just completely like jumped out of the move and did it to the other direction, and it didn't even dawn on me until like probably an 8 count in that I'm facing the wrong damn direction. That was probably like complete meltdown. Like, what the hell is going on right now? My brain just went out of my body.
Yelling at you? Were they like, Makeba?
No, I just had my own solo moment.
Yeah, she told on herself to the director after.
I would have loved if anybody slapped the shit out of me like, Makeba, turn around.
Like, you're just saying, I have my own show. I don't know what you guys.
Yeah, literally it was like a little solo moment. And I think I was kind of like somewhat in the center, not in the front of the pyramid, but definitely towards the middle. Like you couldn't have missed the shit show that took place. But so funny. There's just times like that where you just, to the wind, as Brittany would say.
No, but I feel like they seem longer than they are. I will say.
Mm-hmm.
So
it feels like 5 minutes.
And wasn't as long as you thought it was.
Let's hope. As long as it doesn't end up on some bloopers YouTube reel. It had such an illustrious dance career, and it's clearly not over by any means, but just so exciting to hear about all your achievements in the NBA, you know, being able to travel abroad and for both leagues and just, you know, represent so well and teaching and just, you've just done it all, man. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. Seriously, this was so fun chatting, and hopefully next time you come up to visit Sunrose, we can all go get a cocktail or something.
Yes, please, we have to. We have to now.
Yeah, we sure do.
I told you my most embarrassing court story.
We'll share more over as the cocktails start flowing. I think there's plenty more where that came from.
Thanks again.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Yeah, have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back in, y'all.
You could totally tell she's related to Sunrose.
Yeah,
I feel
absolutely.
like we have to have Sunrose obviously on the show, but you can just hear that they're cousins. Mm-hmm. I love it.
She was so awesome. I just felt like we didn't even know she went to London, and that totally fits in with last week.
I mean, it is so neat to hear. I mean, she just moved down to LA, that obviously she's from the Bay Area, but to go down there and just be able to have such a cool experience cheering in the NFL, and then being where a lot of the action happens, obviously between LA and New York for dancers, that's kind of where you need to be to book work, and she's, you know, exploring some, you have to know who Lorianne Gibson is. I'm going to give you some.
I probably totally do. Like I said, with like a lot of just song titles, I'm really bad with names.
Okay.
But I recognize it when I see them.
She's Miss Boom Cack. Okay, maybe that's not sounding familiar either. Okay. I'm going to hip you to her because you know who she is, I think.
We'll link her below.
Yes. For everyone who does not know, especially people in other countries, maybe they don't know. This is our international themed few episodes, so we'll have to give people some scoop on who she is. But she's done a lot in her career. Like, I'm so
I think
impressed.
It's pretty rare for people to do NFL and NBA.
Just seems like you're at least seeing a lot of crossover more so than before. But she was so sweet.
Yeah.
And just personable, and I loved her audition advice. Like,
yeah, I was going to say, isn't that our next episode?
No. But it is coming.
Wait, isn't it?
We're going to Portland for the hockey game. That'll be our next episode.
I obviously don't know our schedule, y'all.
There's so much going on,
there
though.
is.
We've traveled. We've been going all over the place. But just to kind of give you a preview, we are going to a Winter Hawks game to watch their dancers perform because it'll be my first hockey game. And what about you?
Same. They dance on ice.
So we can't wait to see. We couldn't do a hockey cheerleader type episode without seeing them in action, and so we're so excited to see them perform. So that's our next episode.
Oops, sorry.
It's okay. But right after that, we are touching on auditions because they are coming up fast and furious. Every post is audition workshops.
For the workshops, the prep classes. We're getting inquiries about advice and what should I do. So
we'll share our little 2 cents and obviously sharing some resources. You know, there's a lot out there, and I think obviously for people who are interested in auditioning for a team, I would say just start plugging in, hitting the gym and,
But I love Patricia's advice, and I think that really hones into, like, what I believe, too. Just kind of go do it, put yourself out there, and be in a really good mental state, and then just always work on improving. Everybody can improve. Even if you think they're the most gorgeous, perfect person, they probably are improving, so...
Absolutely. And we'll share all our other little jewels of wisdom for that episode. But stay tuned for Ice Baby next week. Where can they find us in the meantime?
We are pretty active on Instagram.
Yeah.
I am pumping out posts like every other day.
I know. I'm trying to keep up with you. I'm not doing a good job.
Yes, you are. You do great.
But you're at Pro Cheerleading Podcast on Instagram. I'm on Twitter at Pro Cheer Podcast. And we are looking forward to getting some footage at the Winterhawks game that will go up on our YouTube channel.
We're prepping for a snowstorm here in Seattle, so our minds are a little
Snowmageddon is going down in the Seattle area. It's like the end of the world. Grocery stores are empty, shelves, and crazy traffic, and we're going to leave before we get snowed in here. Yeah. No. But thanks so much for listening, guys. Until next time.
Keep your eyes on the sidelines.
Yeah, I need you to sing Supersonic to end this episode.
Supersonic.